Hey, I'm going to talk about the time Gigi and I went down to the Rat in Boston in the Batmobile. The Rat was a legendary club. It was the CBGBs of Boston. So many world famous bands have played there before they got big, like U2, The Police, REM, The Ramones, The Talking Heads, Metallica, Blondie. So many bands have played there. Even Gigi played there a couple times before I was in the band. Anyways, we were driving down in the Batmobile, and I had Al's Walkman in the car. I borrowed it a couple weeks prior. We get down to Kenmore Square where the Rat is, and I find a parking spot pretty much right across the street from the Rat. It's like, great. It's like November, December, 1982. It's winter time pretty much. It's chilly. So we lock up the car. We go to the Rat. Of course, Gigi's wearing his typical garb. His corduroys, his Beatle boots, and his Gigi Allen vest. I never seen that guy wear a coat in my life, I think. So we get to the Rat, and for some reason, it's a long time ago. I don't know if we were going down there for a show, but the bands played in the basement, and there was no show going on that night. I don't know if it was canceled or what, but we spent the whole time up on the first floor. I've been to the Rat many times watching bands, but I never spent any time on the first floor. This was the first time. So Gigi and I got a table. We had a few drinks and we were bullshitting. I can guarantee you two subjects came up. Of course, we're in Boston, so of course Gigi's talking shit about Merle. Guarantee you that. We were also making fun of all these Boston posers because they hated us because we were from New Hampshire. But actually, a couple of people came over and talked to Gigi, which was pretty cool. But we got a few stink eyes from people also, because Gigi was wearing his vest. Anyways, we had a good time that night, just talking and having fun. So we get out, go to the car. I pull out my keys, unlock the car, open the door, the dome light comes on. Alls I see, little pieces of broken glass all over the front seat. Gigi's on the other side of the car. Sure enough, someone bashed in the passenger side window and stole Al's Walkman. I mean, Kenmore Square is a pretty busy place, even at that time of night. We couldn't believe someone smashed that window and stole that Walkman right in Kenmore Square. But we're from New Hampshire. We're not used to this stuff. Because in New Hampshire at that time, there was hardly any crime in New Hampshire. So luckily, I had this old blanket in the trunk. So here we are, going up 93 North. I got the heat on full blast. Gigi's got the blanket trying to cover up what's left of the passenger side window. We froze our asses off going home. That's not the end of the story. In January of 1983, we had a show down in Providence at the Living Room. Providence had the biggest fan base of Gigi Allen fans down there. So it was a pretty big show, the most people I played in front of up until that time. Things I remember about that show is one, Gigi was in that audience a lot. He jumped into the audience and they were all over him. It was like a scrum, pig pile. He was covered with people. They were throwing shit. It was crazy. Another thing I remember, we're playing, I look over at the drummer, Steve L. He's got a pair of blue women's panties on his face. He's got the crotch right here and the two openings for the legs here. You can see his eyes in the crotch, covering up his nose and his mouth. I think I missed a chord when I saw that. I was laughing. Another thing I remember, between songs, I was trying to talk to Gigi. This man was in a trance. I'm like, Kev, he's looking at me. There's nothing in his eyes. He was somewhere else. He finally snapped out of it. But when that guy performed, I realized he was in another place. He was somewhere else. And I also remember this little kid right here. This was the security. This guy was 2 feet away from me the whole show. He looked like a high school kid. What the hell's this kid gonna do if the shit hits the fan? Absolutely nothing. Good luck. We didn't need security that night. Thank God. But the best part of this was after the show, we're backstage and Gigi comes over. He hands me like $75. Like, we actually got paid? Like, holy shit. I never made any money in this band. Here I am, I got $75. He had that $75 in my hand for like 10 seconds. Here comes Al. He strolls over with his hand out. Hey, you owe me for that Walkman. I hand him the $75. Here you go. I never made any money in that band. I didn't care. We never made any money. All of us probably. It was great memories. I wouldn't trade it for the world. That was a great show. The only time I ever played at the Living Room.